This podcast is brought to you by Three Rivers Energy Partners. In today's episode of Digest This.
The state's major utility provider is projecting a massive 90% hike in electricity prices.
Picture this, an entire city powered by 100% local renewable energy.
This initiative is going to impact 29 states. That's a massive effort to bolster the biofuel infrastructure.
Welcome to Digest This, Unpacking Our Sustainable Future, where we dive deep into the latest developments in sustainability and renewable energy. Join us in exploring the pioneering solutions and technologies that are shaping our future. Now, let's dive into today's episode.
You know, when we talk about renewable energy, the conversation often jumps straight to solar and wind. Here's the thing. Biofuels are kind of the unsung hero of the energy transition. We read an interesting press release from the USDA about a major announcement of them delivering on rural energy commitments, strengthening U.S. energy security, and increases American-grown fuels. The USDA will release obligated funding totaling $537 million under the Higher Blends Infrastructure Incentive Program, or HBIIP for short. They're making moves that could completely reshape rural America's energy game.
Exactly, Alex. This initiative is going to impact 29 states. That's a massive effort to bolster the biofuel infrastructure, not just as an alternative energy source, but as a way to reinvigorate rural economies. Take Iowa as a prime example. It's already a biofuel powerhouse with 42 ethanol plants and 10 biodiesel facilities.
Yeah, Iowa's basically the gold standard here. Those facilities don't just produce fuel. They create local jobs, support farmers, and pump money back into rural economies. It's like a triple win, right?
Absolutely. And what's fascinating is how this connects to energy independence. By investing in domestic fuels like E15, E85, and B20, the U.S. is reducing its reliance on foreign oil while providing more renewable energy options for consumers.
Oh, and let's not forget the innovative uses for agricultural byproducts in this whole process.
That's right, Alex. Programs like the HBIP also align with policies like the current administration's executive order prioritizing energy security. These policies are pushing the industry toward energy resilience.
Right? And it's not just about energy security either. The USDA and EPA are teaming up to make biofuels available year-round, which sounds simple, but it's huge for rural markets. Farmers have a stable outlet for their crops, and consumers get cleaner fuel options.
It's really encouraging to see these collaborations coming together. This is what we need to see to help bolster the relationship between farmer and local policymakers to develop a community biofuel strategy. By working together, they could ensure sustainable practices while fostering economic and energy resilience. That kind of partnership can be a model for other rural areas.
And when you connect those dots, local farmers, national programs, and rural infrastructure, it just shows how biofuels can be a cornerstone of more sustainable energy. I mean, seriously, this is about transforming the way we think about energy at a community level. Speaking of economic impacts on local communities, here's a troubling shift. According to the Louisiana Illuminator, Entergy Louisiana, the state's major utility provider, is projecting a massive 90% hike in electricity prices between 2018 to 2030. 90%. Just think about what that could mean for families and small businesses.
It's startling, Alex, especially when you consider that some other states are seeing similar trends, just not as extreme. Louisiana's case is unique because those price jumps are tied to infrastructure repairs from increasingly intense storms and a grid that's decades behind where it needs to be for climate resilience.
And it's not just about resilience anymore, right? We're also talking about fixing a system that honestly hasn't kept up with modern energy demands. Data centers, industries, they're all driving up the need for power. But here's the kicker. Again, according to the Louisiana Illuminator, a collection of companies known as the Large Energy Users Group, or LEUG, are saying they want to build or buy their own electricity to help energy from having to build and generate everything. It would also give them the ability to get more renewable energy to meet environmental mandates for their companies, renewable energy that is currently lacking in availability in Louisiana.
It's not entirely surprising, though. The Large Energy Users Group is proposing a plan where some of these heavy industrial users would essentially self-generate power, And they're targeting renewable energy sources for a portion of that.
Which sounds great on the surface. Industry's becoming more sustainable, right? But what's the catch here?
The catch is in the potential repercussions for residential consumers. If these industries produce their own energy, they might shift a huge chunk of the cost for energy's ongoing grid improvements onto regular customers. And that could,
Wait, let me get this straight. They want to take care of themselves, but in doing so, it could end up leaving everyone else footing the bill for grid updates and repair? That's, wow, that's a lot to unpack, Emily.
it is. And it ties into Louisiana's struggle with renewable energy adoption. Right now, only about 3% of the state's power comes from renewables. LEUG's interest in renewables is promising, but systemic barriers like energy's regulatory constraints significantly slow progress.
Exactly. It's like Louisiana's playing catch up, and industries claim they need renewables to hit their sustainability goals.
I mean, Louisiana's at a crossroads, but the roadblocks are just piling up. It will be interesting to see how they move forward when the whole system feels like it is stuck in neutral.
It's interesting, isn't it? While places like Louisiana are grappling with grid challenges and policy roadblocks, other communities are charging ahead. Picture this: an entire city powered by 100% local renewable energy. According to the city of Ann Arbor, Ann Arbor's SEU, or Sustainable Energy Utility, is trying to turn that concept into reality. It's like community autonomy meets clean energy revolution. Sounds futuristic, right?
It's not just futuristic, Alex. Ann Arbor's SCU is incredibly grounded in its design. The initiative is opting for local solar, battery storage, and even geothermal systems. These technologies combined create a resilient and reliable energy network. And the best part, it's community owned.
Wait, community owned? So residents actually get a say in their energy system? I love that. It's like flipping the traditional utility model on its head.
Exactly. It allows residents to participate in the clean energy economy directly. And it's optional, meaning that traditional utilities aren't replaced, just supplemented. People can choose to opt into this greener, localized system.
Interesting. But what's the real value here? I mean, besides being green, does it actually work better than the current setup?
Well, one huge advantage is resilience. By generating energy right at the point of use, they're bypassing weaknesses in distribution. You know those poles and wires that are especially vulnerable during storms? SEU subscribers would still have power even if the traditional grid went
Oh,
down.
that's huge. I mean, especially if you think about disasters like hurricanes or those crazy ice storms in other parts of the country.
Right. Resilience is key, but affordability is another cornerstone of the SEU's mission. By using local renewable resources, they're able to offer competitive rates that could be even cheaper than traditional dirty electricity. Plus, energy waste reduction programs and weatherization support make it accessible to more residents.
So it's solving for cost, reliability, and sustainability. I mean, why isn't every city jumping on this?
That's a great question, Alex. Initiatives like this require significant planning, community buy in, and upfront investment. Ann Arbor spent years laying the groundwork, from conducting public surveys to scoping financial models. It's a roadmap other cities could follow, but it's not without its
And
challenges.
this isn't just theory anymore, right? They've got solar, battery storage, even networked geothermal. That's got to be one of the most comprehensive approaches I've heard of.
It really is. And it's inspiring to see a city prioritize both sustainability and energy justice. The SEU includes programs to ensure low income households aren't left behind, which is a crucial aspect of any meaningful transition to clean energy.
Honestly, this makes you think about what places like Louisiana could learn from Ann Arbor. I mean, imagine if they used this kind of model instead of pushing those sky high energy rates onto residents.
There's definitely a lot of potential for other communities to embrace similar initiatives. And while every region has unique challenges, strategies like shared solar and microgrids could be adapted to fit different needs and scales.
Speaking of how we adapt cleaner energy models to fit different regions, according to a recent article by 3BL Media, SoCalGas is taking an interesting approach out west. They've just signed their first contract under SB 1440 to start injecting renewable natural gas, or RNG, into their pipeline system. And get this, it's made by turning organic waste into energy. It's like turning trash into treasure, literally.
It really is, Alex. The RNG is sourced from organic waste through anaerobic digestion, which captures methane emissions and converts them into usable energy. This is significant because methane is a potent greenhouse gas, much more impactful than carbon dioxide in the short term.
Yeah, methane's like the quiet villain of the climate crisis. And projects like this one in San Bernardino are expected to help cut a huge chunk of those emissions. Oh, and they're even aiming to replace 12% of traditional natural gas with RNG by 2030. That's ambitious, right?
It is, but it's also necessary to meet California's climate goals, like cutting methane emissions by 40%. What's particularly interesting about this project is the carbon negative potential of RNG. According to our source on this project, depending on its source, it can actually capture more greenhouse gases than it emits.
Wait, carbon negative? So not only does it not harm the planet, it kind of works in reverse. That's amazing.
Exactly. And it's a critical step toward decarbonizing industries that traditionally rely on fossil fuels such as transportation and manufacturing. It also builds resilience into the energy grid by diversifying the sources of gas utilities supply.
Speaking of resilience, EnviTec Biogas's new facility in South Dakota is kind of next level, right? Imagine this 9,500 dairy cows, and they're turning over 300,000 gallons of manure into energy every single day. Mind blowing, right?
It really is, Alex. That sheer scale demonstrates how much potential there is in using agricultural waste as a renewable energy source. According to a recent article in Biogas magazine, the facility is expected to generate 483 standard cubic feet per minute of renewable natural gas, or RNG. That's a lot of energy.
Right? The scale of it just blows my mind. Plus, the article says that this is only one of 15 facilities being developed by SJI Renewable Energy Ventures. So this is just the beginning.
And it's a huge milestone for renewable energy development in the United States, especially in regions like South Dakota, where agricultural operations are prolific. The local partnerships also stand out. Take the collaboration with Collins Precast for locally manufactured concrete tanks. It ties environmental progress to economic benefits for the region.
So it's like sustainability meeting economic growth. You're bringing in clean energy and supporting local businesses. It's a win win, yeah?
Exactly. And the process itself, anaerobic digestion, is so efficient. The manure breaks down in an oxygen free environment, producing biogas that's captured, purified, and upgraded to RNG. Aside from generating energy, this mitigates methane emissions that would otherwise escape directly into the atmosphere.
Oh, and methane's a big deal. According to the EPA, methane is 28 times more potent than CO2 in trapping heat. So this project isn't just about renewable energy, it's actually cutting emissions in a big way.
That's right. And projects like these hold a lot of promise for meeting climate goals. They're showing us what's possible when policy incentives align with technological innovation and industry action. South Dakota's frameworks promoting RNG are a crucial factor here.
Right, and speaking of policy, Emily, do you think this kind of development could prompt broader reforms? Like, could we see more states adopting policies to push RNG expansion?
I absolutely think so. States with strong agricultural or industrial sectors could replicate this model. The federal government's role in supporting RNG through initiatives like tax credits or methane reduction goals is also important. With the right support, we could see significant progress nationwide.
Man, it's exciting to think about. Renewable energy isn't just about shiny solar panels or wind farms anymore. It's this entire ecosystem of solutions coming together. And they're addressing energy, emissions, and even economic challenges all at once.
Exactly, Alex. And it means thinking holistically about energy systems, integrating diverse solutions like RNG, local renewables, and even geothermal. It's not just one technology. It's about building resilience into the entire framework for the future.
Oh, for sure. And speaking of the future, it feels like this conversation is only scratching the surface, you know? Every one of these projects, South Dakota's biogas facility, Ann Arbor's SEU, shows what's possible when we get creative about sustainability.
Absolutely, and it's inspiring to see how innovation at the local level can ripple outward to drive larger changes. It really is a hopeful time for renewable energy, despite the challenges we've discussed today.
So, on that note, I think that's a wrap for today. Great talking as always, Emily. And for all our listeners out there, let these stories remind you it's possible to make a difference, whether it's a community energy initiative or a cutting edge biogas plant.
Exactly. Thanks for joining us, everyone. And remember, a sustainable future isn't just a dream, it's something we can build together. Until next time.
Thank you for listening to Digest This Unpacking Our Sustainable Future, a Three Rivers Energy Partners podcast. Three Rivers Energy Partners is a renewable energy company that empowers organizations with the ability to create a sustainable future by converting organic waste streams into renewable energy and resources. To get the latest episode of Digest This, or to find out more about Three Rivers Energy Partners, visit threeriversenergy.com or find us on LinkedIn, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. The sustainable future is being created right now. Keep exploring and keep up to speed with the latest in renewable energy and sustainability. See you next time.